In this last module, I'd like to talk about training and development evaluation and the roles that HR and other members of the organization play in effective training. It seems so obvious that we need to evaluate our training programs, but too often training is delivered with no feedback to allow the facilitator to enhance the program or change the content to meet the needs of the participants. Training needs to be systematically designed, conducted, monitored, and re-engineered to meet the changing needs of the organization and the changing needs of the employees. Evaluation needs to be data-driven. It's more than just a hunch that it went well, or a checkbox that shows that participants enjoyed the training. It's incredibly important that trainers always seek feedback on the efforts of their training. It's critical to know how to improve the programs. Even if you've presented material previously, it's important to get additional feedback from new vantage points, to discover how you might be able to tweak the material or the format to make it even more meaningful or more useful to participants. It allows instructors to take comments on what worked or what didn't work, and it also provides HR and management with the data needed to make decisions on continuing to offer the program or perhaps discontinue it. Evaluation provides a way of measuring operational results. We can get feedback from participants or their managers to understand if the content of the course is being appropriately applied. As with any other aspect of the business, we need to prove to management that our efforts are working, especially if we're asking them to invest in lost employee time to attend a session or to fund a future training program. From a company perspective, companies are investing millions of dollars in training programs to help gain a competitive advantage. Also, as with any investment that a business makes, whether it's in new equipment, in people, in marketing, or training, they want to see that there's a return that is achieved for the investment that they've made. Only through various forms of evaluation can we prove that their investment was indeed well spent. There are several levels of feedback that we can get, and all of them provide valuable input. We'll discuss these levels sequentially. The first level is reactions. Reactions on the part of participants to the training, or their level of satisfaction with the time spent and the materials presented. We often solicit this kind of feedback after a training session. Trainees are our customers in HR, so if they were not satisfied, we need to understand why. And if they are satisfied, the reason for their satisfaction provides input on what to keep in the training and possibly enhance. At the next level, learning equates to the acquisition of knowledge, skills, behaviors, and aptitudes. Beyond being satisfied, we need to understand if trainees indeed gained the knowledge that was imparted. Another level of feedback can be ascertained by viewing or receiving feedback from supervisors on the improvement of behavior on the job. What was achieved after the training? What changed and how? And last, results. Actual business results that were achieved by trainees subsequent to the training. Some types of training evaluation include 1. A cost-benefit analysis, or a comparison of costs and benefits associated with organizational training efforts. It's a measurement of both the cost and the benefit, and it's not often easy to do this, but important to look at how we come up with that comparison of the costs which were incurred and the benefits that had resulted. Another is benchmarking, a comparison of internal training with training done in other organizations. How does it compare with what's been done at other successful companies? As mentioned, training is an iterative process. It can always be improved with input and examination, so successful evaluation helps to continuously improve these training efforts. Successful evaluation provides data over time, or trend data, and when we track and maintain trend data, we can see those trends emerge. How has performance increased after training? How do those employees who receive training have their behaviors or skills impacted? Did they improve? Did they get promotions? Did their productivity enhance? These are very helpful and important metrics to have. Now let's look at who's responsible for training. The managers certainly take an active role in identifying training needs and ensuring that employees use their training for their work, and facilitating the sharing of knowledge by using informational maps or informational training. As companies go and recognize the important role of training for business success, they form an entire training function. They develop the policies around training, which may include instructional design, adding instructors, technical training, experts in instructional technology, and so forth. HR typically plans, establishes, and evaluates responses from the training program. But the mistake that is often made is that we do it in isolation. That should not be the case. It should be a cooperative effort with management. Supervisors implement and apply development procedures. They need to be fully engaged and understand the purpose of the training and the intended results, as well as how to assess the training and how to reinforce the training when it's back on the job. And employees, of course, are important contributors in improving the training or providing suggestions for future training. We must not forget to include them at the beginning of the development process and at the end with the evaluations. To be a successful training professional requires staying up to date on current research and training practices as well, and certainly taking all of this feedback from managers, from supervisors, and from employees. And last, this table provides you with some of the roles and competencies of a trainer. A trainer must act like an internal consultant to analyze data and come up with programs that meet organizational needs. They need to understand not only their company, but the industry as well. What are other companies doing in terms of training? They need to understand adult learning, how learners best process information, and how to prepare learning objectives that meet the needs of the organization strategically.